Hello and welcome to Grocer Pod. My name's Sean Kasednar. I'm coming to you from the 2026 Innovation Showcase. Today I'm joined by Jason Skolak from Retail Data Systems. We're going to be talking about electronic shelf labels. But before we get to Jason, I want to remind you to please subscribe to Grocer Pod. Subscribing means new episodes will be downloaded for you each week. You can find Grocer Pod on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, or any other platform you use to listen to podcasts. Thanks for joining me today, Jason.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, electronic shelf labels, that's big right now. If I'm a retailer coming to your booth at the show today, what problem am I looking to solve when I come to you?
Wow. So electronic shelf tags solve so many problems, and we're learning about new things. Retailers are challenging us every day. The biggest problem is, labor, hanging tags, the cost of the tags, cost of a printer, and also just having price consistency and correct across the board at a store. The other thing that we solved that we never thought about when deploying tags in a store is customers actually come back to the retailer and say, hey, did you remodel the store? Because it really cleans up the shelf. You get a nice clean black rail. You get these shiny new tags down the store. So it really makes the store look cleaner and nicer and, looks like you got a remodel. So
No, it's interesting that you bring that up. I was at the store tour, with everybody else at the showcase, and it's amazing how clean the store looks, when 100% of the tags are electronic. And the way that they're displayed, it doesn't look electronic. It's not like you're looking at a bunch of TV screens, but everything just looks so clean, and I'm with those customers.
Sure.
Beyond simply just being able to change the price easier, what else have you built into this system that helps out AWG member retailers?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we at RDS, we always look at a product and a solution and say, hey, that it's coming to market to go change a price, right? But how else can we leverage the technology, and what else can we build into that to capitalize on the investment and solve other problems for retailers? So we've built some tools from RDS standpoint for our customers that a retailer can go in and leverage the LED light on the ESL to flash by department, flash by vendor, and that allows them to go set a date range in the back office and say, hey, for dairy, I want to flash all my zero movers from this date range. Flash it for 5 minutes, and now you can go back out in that department and look down the dairy aisle and see all the LEDs flashing red for that time frame, and it'll show you where you have zero movers. We can also do your top movers. So we have 6 different levels of movement that we can flash out there and leverage all the different colors of the LED lights. So that's really helped our retailers go visually see movement by vendor, by department in their aisles in their store.
Yeah, there are so many people out there that are, visual learners, and while it'd be very easy to just put all that same data on a spreadsheet and sit in an office and look at it. Store managers are out there walking their store, and if they can just have this flash up while they're walking, it's a real nice visual indicator of, this much of my shelf isn't moving, and this is what our customers are seeing too. So
yeah.
So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, being in aisle and seeing something that might be flashing red, what you don't get on a piece of paper is, where is that merchandise? Is it on the top shelf? Is it on the bottom shelf? Maybe if I re-merchandise that and move it up to a different place, maybe I'll get movement on it and I'll start selling it. So that's one thing that you don't get from a reporter or a piece of paper.
That's awesome. Before we started recording, we talked about how you can use that technology, how employees in the store can use that technology to help consumers. How can that work?
Yeah, so another great question, and something that, again, our customers are continuing to challenge us, how we can leverage the technology. So from a consumer standpoint, a customer came to us and said, hey, I want to be able to help my new employees that don't know where things are in the store, direct a customer to go find, the bottle of sriracha, for example. it might be in an Asian section or ethnic section versus in the hot sauce aisle. So an employee can simply from their phone or from a mobile computer in the store go to the app, look up the item, and find it and say flash it for a number of seconds, and they can pick different colors. Then they can look down aisle 5 and say, oh, yep, there it is, right there on the top of the shelf, see the LED light flashing. So it allows store staff to work with or to communicate with the customers and help them find items quicker in the store.
I think that's just such a brilliant idea, because simply saying it's on aisle 5 is good. Like that's good customer service. I love it when people know where every product is. But saying go down aisle 5 and look for this flashing red light, and like now I'm going to be able to find it instantly. Yeah,
we've all been there, right? Go to aisle 5 and I'm standing there looking around for all these items and I still can't find it, right?
I think the sell of electronic shelf labels is pretty easy. Like re-tagging your store is a huge pain, takes a lot of time, it's inefficient. By the time you finish, the prices have changed. Now you got to go do it again. Like that's obviously what electronic shelf labels takes out. What do you have to say to the retailers that come to you and say, I know that it's going to save me a lot of time, but it's got to be very expensive to shift my whole store to electronic shelf labels? What do you have to say to those retailers?
Yeah. The great thing about electronic shelf labels is we've had a lot of customers come and say, hey, I see the value, I get it. I'm going to do my whole store. I want to get away from paper tags altogether. We've had other customers that maybe can't afford to do the whole store all at once. The great thing about the product is we can get the infrastructure set up, and you can do a section that might have high price volatility, like produce or dairy, right? So we're in a climate right now where fuel prices are surging. Dairy prices are going to start surging too, right? I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. So focusing on those areas in the store where you have that high price volatility, is a great place to start. And then you can slowly chip off, and you can do a shelf at a time, or an aisle at a time, or a department at a time, whatever makes sense for the store. Just getting some additional tags and some additional fixtures, and then just setting them up and off to the races.
So you recommend even going as small as like a shelf at a time, like that's a reasonable amount?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to kind of do a whole department and have that department wrapped up, and no, I don't have to go over there and change any tags, but literally you could do a shelf at a time if you wanted to.
That I think that flexibility and just knowing that is a legitimate option is probably great for retailers. I know that you guys have, speaking of price, a really good promotion, celebrating AWG's 100 years. Could you tell me about that?
Yeah. That's so we have a promotion going on right now with our vendor Vusion. So to celebrate the 100 years of AWG, we have a 10% off promotion going for 100 days after the show. So 10% off the tags, plus you also get 100 days of free subscription on the tags as well.
Well, Jason, before I let you get out of here, what's the one thing that AWG member retailers need to know about retail data systems?
The one thing to know about retail data systems is we sell, support, and service the top products for our customers, but the difference that we really bring is we fill all the gaps, right? Just the example that I used for the ESLs, where we're writing custom code and custom work to leverage that investment to do more for our retailers. Anybody can come in and sell a tag and change a price. We bring the value in saying, hey, let's dig in here. What else can we do? What other problems can we solve with the technology? That's where we get in and really bring value for our customers.
Well, if any AWG member retailers are interested in either taking advantage of the 100-day 10% off price, or just any of your other services, what do they need to do?
If you're one of our customers, just contact your rep that you work with at RDS. If you're not an RDS customer, that's okay too. We do a lot of work for customers that don't have our point of sale and not work with us there. Just go to rdspos.com. There's a section there to click to get more information. We'll connect you with the local office closest to you, and come in your store and sit down and talk to you.
Awesome. I'll have a link to that in the show notes. Jason, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks so much.
And thank you all for listening. I want to remind you to please like and subscribe. That way you can stay up to date on all the latest things going on around AWG. And until next week, this has been Shanka Sednar with GrocerPod.